Nation. Welcome back to another episode of Empower Her Money. I am your host, Angela Duncan, and today I'm excited for this topic. It is definitely not my genius, not my talent, so I'm glad to have someone in my world that I could turn to if I do have any IT questions. Today, I have Allie with Stellar IT Solutions. Welcome, welcome.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. It's such a pleasure. I appreciate being on here with you.
Yeah, awesome. So IT, typically we don't really think of as a female type business. So talk about your journey, how you got started, and then how you kind of came into being an owner, a co-owner with IT.
Yeah, so that is very true. It's a very male-dominated industry, which is one of my favorite things about being in IT. I love shocking people like you're in IT. So I actually opened my company in 2016. And the reason that I wanted to do this was because I actually managed a lot of businesses before my very own, and I got to hire IT companies through that role. And I understood exactly what the pain points were of what the companies were doing wrong. And I always kept telling myself, like, oh, if they would only do this different, if they would only do this different, if only there was a woman involved. And at that time, I met my now husband, who is a senior systems engineer. And he was working for an IT company himself, but he didn't like his job, not because he doesn't love what he does, but because of the management and things that he saw internally. So we kind of, talked around, like played around with let's open our own thing. And he was always hesitant because it's scary to start your own business. It's not easy, and you feel lost. Like, where do I even begin? So we kind of talked about it, didn't really do anything with it. And there came a point in my life where I was like, okay, like we need to do this. We work so hard. It's time to do it for ourselves. So I went online, registered the business. I came home and then I offered him a job. And
Nice.
thankfully he took it. So here we are 7 years later, and I'm so proud of everything we've built together, and see what the future holds.
Yeah. So working together as husband and wife can have some amazing advantages and some challenges as well. So if you were speaking to another couple and they were thinking about becoming business owners together, what kind of advice or tips would you give to them to make sure that they're successful with their business?
So, I get asked this a lot actually, because there's a lot of husband and wife businesses out there, and some people sometimes ask me like, don't you get annoyed at some point? Don't you want to kill him a little bit? And I think it's about sticking to your roles, like if each one of us in our business has what they do. So as long as you find your strengths and you identify them, and then that's what you do for your business, then that's how it works for us. He goes out there on the field, he does most of the on-sites. I talk to the clients, manage our team, and it works. So as long as we don't overlap in certain things, I think that's really helped why we work so well together. And we try to just separate, our work life from our personal life, even though people, there really is nothing more personal than business, but we try to maintain our focus on, if we're talking about a client, let's just come to a solution, let's work together, not be like, well, last night, you didn't put your dish away, like, so now I'm going to be mean about this. So it's just about really focusing when you're doing business, when you're having fun, you're having fun. So try not to mix them a lot. But yeah, I think just identifying what your role is with your business and doing that and not overlapping with each other. And of course, respect for one another is really the key.
Yeah. So I like that. I mean, you trust each other in your own strength. So you allow that person to take that role, and you're assuming that they're going to do amazing at it because you trust that that's their strength. So that's awesome. And I also like how you said, it's like when now it's you and your husband's time, you're taking off that work hat and, enjoying each other's company, being married, having fun, and not always talking about work. So that's some great advice too. So give us another tip. If you have someone that might be looking at starting this type of business or any type of business, what would you say to them to help them get started on their new journey?
So I would say definitely network a lot. If you're just starting, you really need to network with intention, learn how to do that. Well, before I get into networking, I don't try to reinvent the wheel. Stick to what you know. Because I think that when you're starting your business, you tend to try to do everything yourself because you're starting, you're not making money yet. So you are the accountant, you are the attorney, or you do everything for your business. But there are certain things that you really shouldn't do yourself because you want to start right from the beginning. So definitely consult with the professionals, like get yourself a business attorney, get yourself an accountant. Those are things that you shouldn't be doing, so leave that to the experts. And then of course you got to network, and I didn't really learn how to network right away. It's something you kind of learn by experience. I think sometimes you show up to events with like a stack of cards, and then you're like, okay, I'm going to pass all these out. But that never works. If you go to an event and you're so focused on like, here's my card, you really don't make any connections. So if you are out there, network with intention. Say, okay, today I want to meet 3 people, and then talk to those people and make true connections. Don't be so focused on selling your business or your services. Ask them about their business, take interest in what they're doing. And when you start building those relationships with your network, then the business will come. So network with intention. Don't go crazy passing out cards, or some of the little things that I learned along the way, just to be more proactive with my time and efficient.
Yeah, that's definitely a tip the audience can take back and do right away, because I think a lot of us go to networking events, but then we leave and we haven't added value to anyone. So they really don't know, like, and trust you. So when you're being intentional and paying attention, listening, getting to know them and their business, then they're feeling more of a connection, and you'll more likely get business from them. Other than, yeah, I don't even have business cards anymore. I mean, I have a digital one, but I'm going to get to know you. I like to take photos with my people and then text it to them so they remember who I am, and then go back and do social media and try and connect with them as well. So that's a really good tip as well. So
Yeah.
any other values that you want to add to the audience?
Well, I would say from an industry perspective, to be as proactive as you can with your setup. We get a lot of phone calls of people after the fact when they're in trouble, and it's really hard to be, to put out fires. So make sure that you have good antivirus on your computer. If you have a business today, you have confidential information. Like, you are not free from that world. You're at risk. So, and make sure that you're protected, make sure that you talk to an IT provider, that you have a firewall, that you have yourself set up for success, so that all your hard work is never at risk of, any criminals out there. Like, every day there's more and more and more interesting things going on online. So protect yourself, be proactive. It's always better. We tell all our clients, we don't want to be your break fix company. I don't want you to call me when something breaks and then I come and fix it. I can do that, but it's better for you to have someone on your team that's managing and maintaining your system, so that you don't even get to that point. So it's good to be proactive as much as possible. It's not always easy when you're starting out, to do all of the things that you want to do, but cover yourself with the basics, and then you can focus on doing you and not have to worry about that.
Yeah, I think a lot of business owners don't know that they can, install systems to prevent data breaches or issues, client information leak. So that's really important. Even if you're a solopreneur and you're your only employee, there's still systems that you can help them set up to help prevent issues like that later. Because like you said, it's easier to install and prevent it now versus you having to be the emergency call later to figure out how to fix a problem that you knew that you could have had prevented.
And it's just like a matter of just doing a few things that will save you from the torture that is like having to, getting hacked and like not knowing if you're going to be able to get your data back. Like you don't want to be in that situation. We just had recently, we had someone call us and we had given them a quote like a long time ago with like all the cybersecurity essentials. And I remember specifically that they said, oh, I've been in business for 15 years. Nothing's ever happened. So I don't need this, And then
Yeah.
of course, here's a phone call of someone in the office got an email to validate, the bank account credentials. And of course they
Oh,
clicked, opened, and now they're locked out of their account. And here comes the question, like, what could I have done to prevent it? And I'm like, well, remember that quote like 3 years ago I gave you with all the essentials you didn't need? Okay, that's how, but now it's harder. Now you're actually going to spend more time, more money, and not to mention the stress and the fear that is associated with even thinking that you're hacked and that you're losing something. Like, nobody wants to go through that.
yeah.
So.
And it's really not that complicated or expensive, right? A lot of people think that, oh, installing whatever I need to be preventing could cost me like thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, but really it costs them more with the issues later than it would have been to prevent it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just setting yourself up, for success, to protect yourself and protect your clients too, because once you have clients, it's not just you, you are exposing your clients to other people. So you have to be very, very careful and alert and proactive.
Yeah, awesome, awesome. So, Ali, I have a fun question for you. If you could pick a super talent or superpower, what would that be and why?
So this maybe is going to sound a little bit cheesy, but I've been asked this question before, and I really wish I had the power to heal people. It just, I feel like if everybody felt better and was happier, the world would be just such a more pleasant place to be in. And there we could avoid so much of the hate that we have around. So I would really like to have the power just to heal somebody, to take your pain away. I guess that comes from, us here at my company. We like to fix things. So I would like to fix people.
That's an awesome, really good answer. So thank you so much for your time today. If our audience wants to get in touch with you, either to hire you to help prevent and install the correct systems, or if they have questions about IT in general, how do they reach you?
They can go to my website, which is www.stellarit.net. They could just fill out the form in there and I get an email automatically. Or if you just want to connect, I'm on LinkedIn with my full name, which is Alejandrina Aguilar. So they can find me there.
Yes. Awesome. Awesome. And I love the way you say that, this non-Spanish speaker here. So thank you so much. It was so great to have you today. And thanks again.
Thank you so much, Angela.
Yes. And thanks again for tuning into another episode of Empower Her Money. Great takeaways from today. Definitely to look at your systems, prevent any future issues by installing the correct software today, and call Ali because she can definitely help you out.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm Angela Duncan, and make sure you tune in again next week while we continue our journey on empowering women with all the information they need for their business.